Hi, I'm Kim. Today, Wild Women Studios. This is what I do for a living. I am a tarot advisor, kind of like a therapist, only I use tarot cards. I'm a cartomancer and psychic medium. I'm on today because I'm doing this reading for the group Big Sisters. Today is Friday the 18th, 2025. And it feels like there's kind of a collective, feels like some of y'all are on the struggle bus. So that's putting it nicely. I mean, I've seen some of the stuff that I've been reading in the groups, but this is a little bit bigger than this. I know some of y'all are having some issues that you've actually been talking and discussing and that kind of thing, but I feel like there are many more of you who are having issues that are not saying anything. So this is kind of for whoever it resonates with. I'm just going to pull a couple of cards. I also create magpie decks. And so the deck I'm using is actually Summer's deck that I created for her. It's a compilation of a whole bunch of different cards. Standard tarot deck has 78 cards. And my deck, this one's, well, it's a pretty big stack. I'll put it back together so you can see it. That's several decks worth here. I curated it as she was doing her transition journey, so I've added cards to it as we've gone along, and they presented themselves. And her deck is very woman heavy. There are no male representation. There's no male representation in this deck at all. And then there's also trans representation in here. So I thought what I would do is I would just pull a couple of cards and see where we sit collectively. So I'm going to tell you what the cards mean, and you're just going to have to put them through the filter of your own experience. If it applies to you, great. There might be a little advice for you there. Make you feel a little bit better maybe. If not, if it doesn't resonate, then just scroll on and it's not for you. Okay, I'm going to put that one to the side because I just had a card come flying out at me. So I'm going to put that one to the side and we will look at it in a minute. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I don't know, how many cards am I going to pull? I'm going to start with 3, and I will show you what the cards are, and we'll just talk a little bit about what they mean, and then you put it through your own filter and see if it works for you, if there's anything there for you or not. Okay, so pile number 1. You know what? I'm going to flip what's off the top. No, I'm not. I'm going to shuffle it again. It's saying shuffle, so I'm just going to do what it says. Now I'm going to cut and pull. All right, so I know why some of y'all are not feeling real great right now. This is the Ten of Swords, which is the end of a cycle card. A lot of you might be feeling betrayed. It's also kind of a backstabby kind of card. The things that you thought were working one way are not, and it comes at the end of a cycle, and it's a tough card to look at when you look at all those swords that are pointed right directly at you. So you're feeling very threatened, and as kind of a collective right now. And I definitely understand with the climate of everything that's going on why you would feel that way. But it's also the ending of a cycle. And this particular card, because it's a 10, that's why it's the ending of a cycle. So some of this is going to come to an end. And when I actually pulled the card, it came in upside down. So if you turn it upside down, what do you see? Sorry, notifications are popping up. If you turn it upside down, the swords are no longer pointed directly at her. They're kind of just falling away, aren't they? So that indicates a situation is improving, or this energy is moving out of your arena for right now. You may still be feeling the effects of it. So you may be feeling really, kind of upset and like you've been stabbed in the back and that you're hurt, and and still might be licking your wounds a little bit, but you've been on the floor for a while, and it's about time for you to get up. Like I said, it's the end of a cycle. It's a 10, so these energies are on their way out. And I have 3 piles sitting here. I generally just read the energies as they are, but in this particular case, this is in the slightly past position. So these energies are moving out. Good news, right? Okay, let's see what's coming up next. Shuffling pile number 2. And please do not feel like you are alone, thinking that you are being messed with and done wrong. You're not the only one who feels this way. All right, so the next card up is the 8 of Wands, and this is a great deck. Love is Love. It's an entire queer deck. This particular card doesn't look queer, but it is. It was made for a queer deck. So this is the 8 of Wands. The 8 of Wands is your energy, your passion, your sensuality. It's the stuff that just makes life, you know, it's the fire, it's the passion, it's the stuff that you want in your life. And the 8 of Wands, in this particular one, looks like there's a lot of love letters coming that way, or you're sending out a lot of love letters. Either way, the best way to get love letters is to send out love letters. So the 8 of Wands talks about that kind of energy and being the change that you want to see in this world. To just, I know things are hard. I know that you have been run down and run over, but this card is telling you the time is right, because it's all about a timing card with the wands. They're fast. They're the now. This is happening now in your present. If you want love in your life, send it out. Send it out like your life actually depends on it, which, you know, it kind of does. So send your love out. Lead with your heart center, even when things are not seeming like anybody else is doing that around you. That it feels like you're the only one that is sending love out, or that cares or has compassion, that kind of thing. Well, you're not. Individuals have power. You are a creator God. Create your own reality. You're God droplet. Okay? You have the power. And if you want love in your life, then send it out. Channel in your higher source, your higher power, whatever you believe in, whatever you call the spark within you, and let it shine. Love yourself first. Send your love out, and you'll come back. All right. Last card for this little bit. I might come back on and, I don't know, depends on what comes up here. 3 cards is a good place to start. All right. And this card came up, the Queen of Emotions. So there's really a lot of emotion cooking in the collective field in this group right now. I picked up on it. That's why I'm here doing this. I'm not sure we got all the answers we needed from the 3 cards I pulled, but it does give me a good idea about what's going on. So the Queen of Emotions is, or the Queen of Cups is what this is it's the cup suit, and she is all about some female emotional maturity. She is a water suit. The cups are water, so your emotions, your feelings, your love interests, how you feel about yourself are all encompassed with the cup suit. And she's a queen, so she's on the top of her game, and she is of water, but she is not consumed of water. She's emotionally mature. She knows how to deal with it. So it feels like the collective has got a lot of emotions that are coming up that people don't know how to deal with, because this card came in upside down. So that means the collective is not being very emotionally mature right now, or that emotions are running very high within this group, because this group is I kind of just tapped into everybody's energy. May not be speaking to you specifically, but each and every one of you are part of this group, and so you're part of our collective group here and our collective family, and so maybe some of this touches on you just a little bit. But I am going to keep going because I see that people are feeling threatened and have been threatened, and this is kind of like the, everybody's out to get you card, and it's true. And loving yourself is very important, and you get back what you send out. So send that out. And then the emotional aspect, a lot of y'all are upside down emotionally is what's coming in. So let's see what we can do about that. Based on those cards, I'm going to pull probably 3 more. I'm going to go back to my first deck and shuffle again. So emotions are running high, understandably so. What can we do about it? All right, the Magician. All right, folks, this is another queer deck. It looks like we have possibly a non-binary person in this one, which is cool. I think the actual name of the deck was like Queer Tarot or something. But anyhow, the Magician card is a major arcana card. It is the first card that the Fool runs into. The Fool is you, or the hero. The hero's card. The Fool card is the hero. Hero's journey. You're on a quest. Magician's the first person you run into. Well, this person, they have to say that you have all the tools that you need at your disposal. This person has the Staff of the Wands, the Sword Suit, the Pentacles, which is your money and abundance here in the physical reality, and the Cups, which is your loving cup, and it runneth over. This person has one arm extended into the heavens because they are taking their higher self. They know how to manifest. They know how to get the life they want. They have all the tools they need. So they take what they want here, their dreams, their desire, their interest, and they bring it down here and make it reality. Some of those before and after pictures, you ladies got it going on. I mean, you have got transformation and alchemy down to a fine art. You have all the tools you need to be successful here. So don't be saying that you don't. And honestly, your power comes from within, not outside. Not outside. This all day long is just people taking pot shots at you, and it really has no impact at all on who you are on the inside, which all of y'all know. Okay. So the Magician card is important. It's a major arcana card. It's kind of a soul lesson. And it looks like some of you are very much doubting your abilities to get this done. But I'm telling you, you have all the tools that you need, and your oversoul would not have set you on this path if it didn't think you had every chance of success. You were not sent on this path to fail. You were set on this path to learn, to grow, and to move into the person that you were put here to be. Did I shuffle that? I don't think so. Okay. So I'm going to just show you what it is anyhow. So the Knight of Wands is kind of ironic because this card is actually known as Pictic energy in the tarot community, because it's usually a man on a horse and he's got his staff raised, and yeah, it's all about some fiery passion, big dick energy. But this card has been taken and it's more introspective, and the mount has been taken away. This knight is not on a horse. This knight is on a journey of self-discovery. The wand is very small in her hand, not the big staff that this card typically is shown with. So it once again speaks to the more subtle side and the femininity and taking all that raw power and energy and putting it in a more digestible package, one that you might prefer just a little bit. This particular rendition of the Knight of Wands is absolutely it stripped all the masculinity out of the card is what it's done. I'm going to show you the contrast between the two so you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay. Here is the Knight of Wands. And he is got a big staff, and his horse is raised up, and he's charging, and he's covered in salamanders because of fire and passion and all that. And he is charging in. Now, about fire energy, he's here for a good time, not a long time. Fire tends to burn out fast. So you've got to also nurture this energy too. So, okay, so all this fire and this passion that the knight's got going on, too much and it's an inferno, and not enough and the fire fills us out. So you are being charged with on your journey and your path with kind of keeping that energy. You want to tend the fire. You don't want it to burn out. You don't want to snuff it out. So you're going to have to pace yourself and not rush in like the knight would have done. This knight is on a slower path, and she's more controlled. She is more cautious. She is more introspective, and she knows what she wants, and she's going to watch that energy so it doesn't burn out too quickly. She knows she's going to need it for the long haul. All right, last card. Don't know if this is helpful to any of you. It kind of looks like it might be. Like I said, you're going to have to put your own filter through it. It looks like some of you are very unsure about where that energy is going. And if you look at her, she's not looking so much forward. She's kind of looking back. And so my best advice here, just intuitively, I'm going to say it's going to be time for some of y'all to drop your past like a bad habit. You're just going to have to. That a lot of you are clinging to your old selves, and you can't let the new self in if you're still holding on to the old. And then I'm not just talking about trans people. I am talking about every woman and man too in this group. If you are feeling stuck, then it's energy that you're going to have to look at for yourself. And yeah, it needs to be introspective, and you need to decide what you want and where you want to sink your energies. So there's a message in that card, and it's still kind of coming through. So we'll come back to that one. All right. And this one that just came up is the Six of Pentacles. I don't know if you can see it. It's from a Smart-Ass Tarot, or the Badass Tarot deck. It's a great deck. Most of it's inappropriate, you know. But this particular card was not. The reason I pulled it is because if you see her piggy bank says new boobs. And new boobs cost money. Okay, so the Six of Pentacles is actually about money. It is. But in the traditional tarot, it's about being generous and giving with your time and your money and your resources. So this person might be torn a little bit between being generous and sharing their wealth, and wanting to kind of hoard it and keep it a little bit for themselves. So this is a warning in that regard. Money is an energy, and it, just like anything else, and there needs to be a flow. You don't want to dam it up. You don't want to hoard your money. You also don't want to, open the floodgates and let it all go away either. So it looks like the overarching message for this group is that you're going to need a little bit of balance and some discernment. You need to get real clear on what you want, and because if you don't know what you want, you get what you get. And I say that ad nauseum, but it's the truth. So get real clear on what you want. Some of the more negative feelings are going to dissipate out of your field. You get what you put out. You just do. So send your love out to everyone, and mainly yourself. I know there's a tendency to beat ourselves up and judge ourselves, and this is not the time for it. And now is a good time to do it too, because this is another wand card. So the wand is all about fire, passionate energy, and action. And so it's telling you to fire off on this right now. Now is the time. Now is the time. Your emotions. it's hard, but there's an element of needing to work on some emotional maturity so you're not bowled by everything that hits. You're going to have to develop some resilience. Going down this path, you may have people taking pot shots at you, and you've got to know on a deep, deep level that those people do not matter to yourself. They cannot hurt your soul energy. They cannot hurt who you are deep, deep down on the inside unless you let them. If you let what they say affect you, then then they've got control of their emotions and you do not. So my best advice to you is practice non-attachment and not being so swayed by everything that is said to you, either good or bad. You've got to find neutrality within yourself. So this is just asking you to be a little bit more neutral in your emotions and not get bowled over by every wave that comes your way. All right. You've got all the tools you need to succeed. You got to know what you want and bring that down into your physical reality. You can do it. You can work it. Don't forget generosity while you're saving for those new boobs. And trust yourself in your journey. You've got everything you need. You've got everything you need to do it. Then the last bonus card was 7 of Potions, which is actually the 7 of Cups. And the 7 of Cups is kind of a chutes and ladders game. You're presented with a whole bunch of things. Some may be very beneficial to you. Some may not work for you at all. So discernment is key. I mean, I probably should have read this card right off the bat. This is the one that flew out at the beginning of this chat. So discernment is key. Not everything is going to be to your benefit. If it's too good to be true, it might be. So you're just going to have to trust yourself and your inner guidance to figure it out. All right. And go get you some cosmetics. I think I might do that in a little while. I'm trying to up my makeup game. Summer's got me scrambling. All right. I hope this was helpful. If anybody needs to discuss privately with me, just reach out and I'm available. If this didn't resonate with you, no big deal. No sweat, no strain. It doesn't apply to you. If it did resonate with you, then just know that I'm sending you a big love and hug and that you're on the way out of the situation and you've got everything you need. You really do. And the strength comes within. My best advice is my best advice is know what you want. Then you can practice discernment. You ask yourself everything. Does this lead to the person I want to be? And if it's a no, then walk away. All right. Love you all very much, fam. Take care. Bye.